Alrighty, guys. Welcome to tonight's charting session. It is Wednesday, August 30th. Hopefully, everybody is having a good day. So, today we're going to be talking about the trade that we took today, some other opportunities if there really was anything, and then what we're going to be looking at going into the rest of the week. So, first thing, going into the morning, I did have a kind of a mixed bias. Now, my first bias was going to be a little bit more short just because we did take out this big time frame buy side level, but we were continuously showing, bullish pressure to the upside. Going into the morning, we were holding this 15-minute fair value gap, and I was looking to start to see this get ran through down to the downside, possibly to maybe see a short setup. At the open, let me pull up ES here. At the open, ES ended up running to take out that buy side level, at the time forming an SMT, as well as taking this initial high right here. So looking at ES, not only do we have an SMT here, but we also have an SMT here. So at this point in time, I am more bearish here, but I want to see a displacement to the downside to maybe look for a short position. So on NQ, we get a big move to the downside. We get a break of structure, and I ended up taking a short in this fair value gap right when I entered. We ended up chopping, and this kind of told me that the hesitation to go lower is very, very weak. We are super, super strong right now. This is a good short setup. You can see how many times we tried to go lower, but every bullish fair value gap was getting respected, and we were trying to decide which way we wanted to go here, right? Just by noticing price action, we kept respecting bearish fair value gap, but noticing the hesitation to go lower, right? This is telling me price does not want to go lower here. So I ended up going short here, put my stop around here, aiming for that sell side level, and then we ended up running to those highs. Now, the best setup after this, I ended up taking, I did not alert it because I entered like one contract just to test price, but it was right here, and I want to talk about this. So going into the morning, after seeing that action, one thing that we want to kind of recognize and see is even though these SMTs are showing bearish, we're still holding that 15-minute bullish fair value gap, which at the time we weren't, but the 15-minute candle ended up flipping and holding bullish, which kind of faked this out. So the setup was not bad, but looking after this, right when we continue to hold this and got displacement up, that kind of showed us that this SMT is no longer going to be valid and probably get ran through. So looking at the 1 minute, once this gets stopped out and we have this big move to the upside, we then have that break of structure, a lot of displacement. I entered like one contract just to test price and ran up to that buy side level. And then after that, we ended up just selling off all the way back down. And at that point in time, I'm like, okay, I want to see us come here. But then we just slowly started chop to the upside, no internal structure at all. And then we just kind of slowly run the rest of the day and just consolidate in this area. So again, price action today, all over the place, not really interesting at all. Now, I do want to look back and see if this setup could have been avoided. Now, I would rate this, looking back, probably a B+ setup. And the reason why I would say this is more B+ is because of that 15-minute fair value gap. Number one, we're still really bearish, even though we took out that buy side level. It is a buy side level on a bigger time frame, right? Like that's a 4-hour high. So if we want to have confidence with taking some sort of short, then or actually having like a bigger short bias, like expecting us to come down here, this low would have to get broken through with big displacement. So on internal structure, we do have SMT and we do have a rejection of that bigger time frame fair value gap, but we ended up flipping, running through back to the upside, and ended up getting faked out. Once we continue to hold this, this was the long setup that we could have taken. Once we break above this, pull back in, and then we shoot up right to buy side. And then after that, there was definitely nothing else I would have taken today. Now, the bias for long going into this morning, one thing that I could have failed to see is being more bullish because of that retracement. And when we got this spot back up, this 15-minute fair value gap, I want to maybe expect this to hold and then expect higher, just because we've been having a lot of very bullish action recently, possibly just waiting being careful on shorts and watching for potential internal sell side to be swept and then look to see that displacement back up. And that's kind of what we got right here. When we came down, we swept all these internal lows that were in this fair value gap, and then we had displacement back up. But again, no fair value. I would not take this long. Once this gets ran through to the upside, right, that's when we get our break of structure, a lot of displacement up, and then that's when we pull back to this fair value gap and then run to buy side. So that was pretty much the only possible trade that I would take today, because after that, we end up selling off. Again, no displacement or any sort of understanding of structure here. We come back up. Maybe we had a scout model. I'll maybe see if we did. I'll see if we did have a scout model or not. Looking at ES. Didn't take that. Doesn't look like we did. Yeah, pretty much the rest of the day we did nothing. But again, today's action was this has been a pretty shitty week. Like, if every single day this week we've had a rough understanding on, I wouldn't even say a rough understanding on the draw, but just more of rough action to lead us towards buy side. We've been very, very bullish. Action this week has just been straight up, especially just by looking at the 4 hour kind of this week. We've had a massive pushback up, sweeps buy side, massive pushback down. Again, if that point in time we're expecting to see lower prices, we end up going all the way back up, running right, price right back through those fair value gaps, all the way back to buy side. So this move to the upside is very, very bullish for me. On ES, I do think the draw on liquidity is going to be that weekly fair value gap. So I still am pretty bullish going into the rest of the week until this gets hit. And to be honest, I would not be surprised if we come all the way back up to see that buy side level. We've been super, super bullish. And August is most of the time a very bullish month. Or not August, sorry, September. So we possibly could see us come back to that area. But if we come back here and we fail to reject, I would definitely expect to see this high. I do want to check gold. Gold, again, continuing to be bullish. We swept that sell side level on the daily. I do expect us to probably, again, bullish action, but on the daily, there's not really any imbalances to really notice here because the action is very kind of choppy and all over the place. I would expect us to probably come back to this daily. So this is kind of where I would be watching. So I still am bullish on gold. I would like to see us come back to this daily fair value gap and then look for internal model. We do have that 15-minute low. So kind of what I'm expecting to see here is this. I want to see this low acting as sell side, possibly coming into this fair value gap here as well, and then looking to see internal structure start to form. So possibly come up, take out sell side, and then look to see us go higher on gold is what I'm looking for. Yeah, I can check euro. Clear up the chart here. All right, euro daily. Euro daily is also pretty bullish. We just swept that sell side level. We're having a lot of displacement back up. 4 hour pretty much would look for the exact same thing. Coming back to that fair value gap, we have that daily fair value gap here as well. Now, we also have a daily fair value gap here. So that's when we'd look for internal structure and see where we most likely want to bounce. I'd probably mark out this 1 hour here. We could come back to maybe sweep this and then bounce, but I would like to see us hold here and then go back higher. But do keep in mind, we did just sweep this internal buy side level, even though this does kind of look like low resistance liquidity. I still would like to see us come down and hold this and then go back higher. If we do break through this fair value gap, though, I would expect us to come to this low and then bounce off that other daily fair value gap to then go higher. Predicting NQ to start to reject 550 and start to reverse. Where's 550 at? I mean, we're almost there. We have that 4 hour past fair value gap here. But again, all of this does look like low resistance. So on NQ, I do still think we take this high probably. But notice how fast this action has been back to the upside versus the downside, right? Looking at the downside, we get small move down. small move back up, small move down, right? No structure break, big move back up, small move down, right? Notice how it's very slow to the downside versus when we go to the upside, it's big move to the upside, failure to the lows, and then big move back to the upside. So we've been very, very bullish. I would not expect us, or I would not be surprised if we go right back to this external buy side level. Now, looking at the daily, I do expect it. Yeah, we did just form this daily fair value gap. So going into the rest of the week, I do want to see us retrace back into this and then look to see higher prices because now we're starting to displace back. Now that we've held this BPR and we're starting to make new highs, I am bullish on NQ. So I'd like to see us come back down into that daily fair value gap. I'll mark in this 4 hour here. I'd like to see us sweep this low and then go to that high. So I would like to see tomorrow a little bit more downside back here, and then look to see us go right back to that high. Where do you think NQ has to come down on a bigger time frame? I'd have to see a lot more. So number one, we are in OTE of this area. First, I'd like to see ES get to that weekly fair value gap. Once we get there, I'm looking to see a lot of downside, right? I'm looking to see this kind of move, right? Where it's clear, where it's a lot of downside. But here we have all this low resistance, so that's why we came back up to take all these highs. That's why I still think that we're probably going to go to this high here. So once we take this high, if we come back down, I need to see like a 4 hour bullish fair value gap or a daily bullish fair value gap get ran through to the downside for me to validate that we go back to that weekly draw. Right now, internal structure, again, looking at the 1 hour, I'd want to see us come down and sweep this low here to take longs. Yeah, BPR is a balanced price range. Yeah, here, if you look at the daily here, you can see NQ has this bearish fair value gap. It gets ran through and then creates a bullish fair value gap, right? So this is now a BPR balanced price range. And then we come back, respect it, and then bounce. Are you trading tomorrow or taking the day off? I'm taking the rest of the week off because we have NFP. So I won't be trading tomorrow or Friday, especially with this kind of action. I'm going to wait for the end of the month, let the rest of the week do its thing, let the rest of the action do its thing, where we want to go, because right now price is on a mission. So I'm going to let the market do its thing, come back after NFP, because, again, action has not been favorable, so it's best to just not risk price since it's just not worth it. I haven't been risking much this week so far, so I'm down around like 2,700, maybe 3,000. But I'm fine with just letting the market kind of do its thing and then coming back on Monday or coming back on Tuesday because it's Labor Day. Yeah, sometimes the best things to do, especially when, we've been like losing and we have to recognize price and be able to say that, our edge isn't fitting the best way right now, and we have to realize why. Number one, summer months, end of the month, NFP week, prices hasn't been really respecting anything, bullish or bearish. So I kind of want to see price just do whatever it wants to do, start to form some cleaner action, and then we come back and execute. How much we risk for 150 top step? So 150, the drawdown's 5K. So your risk should be around no more than around 500 to 4.5. I like to be aggressive with evals, but not too aggressive. So I'd say your max loss should be 500. I checked gold. I'll check CL though. CL, I honestly do not really plan on trading CL. CL is pretty shitty. But we just took this high, but I still probably am bullish because we took the sell side, so I'm probably expecting to see this high again. We did come back down and tap that 4 hour fair value gap though. Again, this action's terrible. Yeah, or if you can't resist and you don't want to trade, or you do want to trade, either paper trade or lower your size to just protect yourself. Justin, a lot of your members got the free TopStep account, but we can only use NinjaTrader. You mind giving us a rundown on how you use Ninja? I heard it's very similar to TradeAway, more specifically how to use the DOM and set TPs, SL limit orders. It's pretty much the exact same thing. It's literally the exact same thing as TradeAway. It's just a different looking DOM. It's the exact same thing. Right click, setting orders, left click to put orders on the buy side or bid in the ask. So if you know how to use TradeAway, it's pretty much the exact same for Ninja. How do you know how much you're risking? Use this. So if I'm entering a trade, I'll put my stop on my price target, create limit order, and then you can put how many cons you're going to use. And then you can see what your PT is and then what your stop is going to be. But a lot of the time when I trade on my eval, a lot of the time my stops are not going to be exactly the same. They're going to be in a range because the range is like $600 to $1,000 because a lot of the times specific trades require different amounts of stops. So I'll adjust my size to fit whatever that range is. Let's. I don't really have much to go. Let's go over. Let's do a little replay session. Let's do. What should we do a replay session on? Somebody give me a pair. The Dow. We could do it on the Dow. All right. Let me clean this up a bit here. Let me just do remove, replay. All right. All right, 4 hour. We're coming into the day. Bullish or bearish, and probably bullish expecting this. We did take internal high, but I'm not too worried about internal unless we get displacement back to the downside. So we do have this 4 hour fair value gap. If this comes back in and gets tapped, I would look to see internal model. So I would be looking for this low to get swept and probably go back higher. But if we displace below that, I would expect to see lower. So we swept, continuing lower on the 5 minute. So now we're getting displacement back down. Looking at the 15 minute. We have internal now swept, a lot of displacement back down. Comes back up. This is where I look to see if we get internal model or not. We do have this order block. There we go. We get displacement. Using bigger time frame bias, would like to see pull back here for a short. Stop would be here. First price target would be here. Doesn't get tapped. Probably will sell off. Comes back up. Taps back in. Possible short here. Stop would have to be a lot tighter though. Gets ran through. This point in time, I would definitely expect to see that high. That had been what session? Oh, let me turn my sessions on. That's gonna help a lot because that was overnight session. There we go. Okay. Coming back. 15 minute. Definitely expecting higher prices. Would look for internal displacement. Targeting this high. Would like to see that 5 minute fair value gap come back to. Would long that. Looking to see us go back to buy side. And then we gap down next day. Did we take that low? We have a bunch of equal lows down here now. YM is all over the place. We have a lot of stacked lows here. Takes those lows, displacement back up. Probably going to come down and take this low. Takes the low. We'll see if we get displacement back up. We have a 1 hour fair value gap. Would look to see internal. Sweeps internal. Looking to see displacement back up. Continuing to sell off. Oh, I didn't realize on a bigger time frame we took that high, didn't we? So now if we displace below this, we should see a lot lower. Four hour comes up. We'll see if we sweep this high. Zoom in. We'll be looking for displacement back down. So we zoom into the 5 minute. There we go, break. Let's see if we get displacement. That could be a short. Looking to see this low first, and then this low down here. Whatever that would be. Overnight session. Could be another internal model right there on a 5 minute or on a 1 minute. We sweep that. I'm going to zoom in here, see if there was an internal structure. Displacement right here. Pull it back. Selling off. We should start to see us go here. There we go. Sell side gets taken. So that short would be nice. Now that we took that internal sell side level, we'll see if price wants to go back to the highs. Comes back. We should probably take that internal high. Internal high gets taken. No displacement back down yet. Probably still going higher. There we go. We get displacement back down. Would be looking for price to come back here. Comes back up. Oh, too fast. Let me see if there was internal. That will be my short. Targeting this low. Low gets taken. You could leave a runner to go to the external low, but that would probably be all out there because that'd be low hanging fruit. Letting price do its thing. Chop, 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 chop. Like zoom back out here. Damn, YM is shitty, bro. This price action sucks. Sweeps this external low. Probably going somewhere on a bigger time frame, so let me zoom out. Okay, we took that buy side level, so we're probably going to go back to discount. Or take this low right here. Oh, that was definitely a setup right there. I want to go back and see if I can... God damn it. Internal buy side. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, that was quick. Okay, let me zoom in. So it doesn't look like there'd be a setup on a 1 minute, but we'll see. This now becomes break of structure. We pull back. No, we do not. Probably expect us to go back to these highs. If not, takes the highs. And that's where we are right now. Low-hanging fruit is just, here, for example, like this. If we have buy side here, right, on a bigger time frame, right, and we have a high put in here, coming up, blah, blah, blah. We sweep that high. We put in, boom, 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 boom. I fucked that up. Hold on. Let me redraw that to make it easier to read. Okay. So low-hanging fruit, right? So we have buy-side swept, internal here, break here, pull back to fair value gap. Internal or low-hanging fruit means whatever the next low is the highest probability to take first. So that would be here. So this would be considered low-hanging fruit. And then that external sell side level would be your runners. So that's why a lot of time I take most of my position off here, because this is the highest probability is we're going to take that initial low first, because it's always lower probability that we're going to actually go all the way back to that external sell side level. Does that make sense? So whenever I say low-hanging fruit, it just means it's the higher probability internal low or high that we're going to take. Can you do another one? I learned a lot from these replays. Yeah, we'll do, let's do GBPUSD. Ugh, this action seems iffy as well, but we'll do it anyway. Remove, let's go to a daily. Let's spread this beach out. Replay, let's go like here. Okay. All right. So, having bullish order flow. Right now, I just look for internal structure. Have a daily fair value gap. Would want to see this come back into, and then look for internal. We have sell side here, looking to see this get taken, and then looking to see displacement back up. Still waiting, still waiting. All right, sell side's now taken. Now this could already be like a pretty decent long. But to get a better entry, that's what I would be looking for, is that displacement. And then this would be considered low-hanging fruit, right? This would be considered low-hanging fruit. This is where I would take most of my position off. And then this is where my runners would go, right? So that would be low-hanging fruit, right? Because that's the most confident setup. And then your runners would go to the external high. Should respect. Holy, this action. There we go. We see new highs. All right, I zoom out again. Look for bigger time frame imbalances. We have another daily fair value gap. Possibly looking to see this come back to. Open the next daily candle. Gets ran through. Possibly looking to see this low again. Zooming back in. Did we sweep that high? No, we didn't. Do we come and sweep it now? We do. All right, so now I zoom in. Swept here. Draw would be here. I can't zoom in that far, so I think I fucked it. I have no idea where we are. There we go. Let me go back here. So I can't wait. I can't go down to a 5-minute. I can go to a 15-minute though. Okay. All right. So I'm guessing we'd see some sort of internal model here. There we go. 15-minute for value gap. All right. So should see this low. Again, notice low-hanging fruit is taken before this high, or before that low. There we go. Low gets taken. So now I'd be patient to see if we get displacement back up or not. Daily I would be looking to see if we close on the daily above or below this fair value gap to get an idea of where price wants to go. If we close below, then I'd expect lower. Daily closes below, so I'd expect this to probably become inverse and then look to see this low. So that's when I zoom in. On the 1 hour, came up, respected that. Could possibly see internal liquidity being swept and then go lower. Internal gets swept. I zoom in. We'll see if we get displacement back down. Still waiting. There we go. Want to see that get respected more, though. Not enough. There we go. So then I wait for a little retrace. Take that. And then I would look to see this low. All right, following that external trend. Probably be stopped there. Ends up sweeping it one more time. Should definitely sell off now. Adding full, adding full. Holy, this action's choppy. We should still sell off, but it'll be pretty crazy if we don't sell off here. Oh my god. This is NQ right now. This is literally NQ. Am I watching NQ? There we go. Fuck. All right, 1 hour did not take that low yet, so I still would not be really looking for longs. All right, now we swept that low. So there we go. Nice displacement back to the upside. Expecting probably a daily for value gap there or a 4 hour. A big 4 hour imbalance. Definitely expecting us to go here first. We do have this 4 hour fair value gap here that we just tapped back into. We did take that low. So if we get some displacement back up here, I would expect higher. But these kind of are equal lows a little bit, so this could get swept one more time. There we go. Would want to see that hold. All right, we came back, held that fair value gap here. So now I'd want to see, again, this would be low-hanging fruit. This would be your external. There we go. Low-hanging fruit's now taken. Oh, my lordy. Comes up, takes out high. Daily, we are in a daily fair value gap back into, so I want to see how that closes. 4 hour. Looking to see what price wants to do. So we swept that. Now have that displacement back to the downside. Zoom back in. Would expect price to go to this low. Continuing higher. So at this point in time, I definitely think that we'll probably go back to make new highs. This action's pretty bullish. If we get displacement back down and then instantly gets bought back up, then I expect to go to whatever the external price is. So then I look for this 4 hour fair value gap to get tapped back into. We don't. We tap this 4 hour fair value gap. This could be an opportunity. Zoom in. Look to see displacement back up. I think we'll probably just slowly run to that high. Action's pretty poopy right now, though. Probably would long that fair value gap. So we get internal, probably some sort of order here. Displacement back up. We should hold this fair value gap. Again, this would be your low-hanging fruit. There we go. Low-hanging fruit would be taken. We'll see if the runners go. Runners go. Should see the high. There we go. High's taken. So now probably come back, sweep internal, and then we'll probably just continue to run to the highs. Unless we get displacement like that, right when I said that. We did sweep this internal low, though. External, kind of barely swept that. This action looks like we probably want to go to those. Action is so bad. Holy. No wonder I don't trade Forex. What? Daily. All right, that is bearish. Definitely want to see this. We just came up. Continue to reject this daily fair value gap. Look for internal 4 hour. Should see that low. Could maybe come up, sweep internal. Sweeps it. Do we get displacement back down? Not yet. Not yet. Kinda. We should probably still sell off here, though. Did we sweep that level? No, I would be looking for that then. An external draw still here. Looks like low resistance. There we go. Low gets taken. So on daily, that daily low is now taken. So I would be pretty bullish here. There we go. That's a long on the daily. We should see here. Goes back to the highs. There we go. I'm trading the daily now. All right, we take internal. Takes internal. Making new highs. Right now, just waiting for structure. Zoom out again. Daily fair value gaps getting respected. This will probably continue higher. 4 hour. Zoom in. Takes the high. Displacement back down after taking that buy side. Coming back. Do have that order block daily. Do we have anything there? We do have this daily fair value gap. Again, bullish order flow, just playing with the trend. Still bullish. Would want to see this get bought back up. Continuing lower. Gets bought up. Probably going to sweep this and then go to this low. Takes the low. Would now want to see a lot of displacement back up for me to be bullish. There we go. Well, that's pretty bearish. We should probably see. This looks like NQ. This is literally NQ right now. This is literally NQ. Big move back up. Big move back down. I said I'm bearish. Gets ran through. So we definitely go all the way here now. Holy. All right, that's enough replay. Did you guys enjoy that? Replays are fun. Replays are fun because I like just to let it go and then just buy and sell based off of what the draw on liquidity is. Did you use replay a lot to learn? Not as much as I do now, surprisingly, to be honest. Does anybody have any last questions before we end the session here? How did you do backtesting? A lot of my backtesting was just on recent actions. So I would journal my trades, and if I was to like backtest a strategy, I would just go back in recent action and see if I could see that setup form. Yeah, I might do a charting session tomorrow. I might. But probably not. I'll let you guys know if not. When do you wait for internal, when not? It depends on the specific structure. A lot of the time, an internal level doesn't have as much significance as external, but it's all based on time frames. So an internal level can be significant if you're going down to a 1 minute for structure, right? Because that internal level is going to be more important. But external, if you're looking at like a 4 hour or a 1 hour, then that internal 1 minute break of structure doesn't mean anything. Do you look for internal sweep? I look for SMT. I look for SMT in favor of the trend is scout model. All right, guys. That's all I have for you guys tonight. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. I'm going to be, I won't be trading tomorrow or Friday. And we have Monday off for Labor Day. So it's going to be a little bit of time before we trade again. So taking this week off. I'm down around 3K. It happens. Action's been pretty rough, but I'm deciding to step away, not try to make that money back, not trying to force it, come back with a fresh head, come back with fresh action, understanding losing is part of the game, understanding we followed good risk, good trades, good management, totally fine with that. So enjoy your days off. You got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so 5 days before we trade again. So journal, I will be watching the market tomorrow, but I will not be trading. If I do take a trade, I'm going to take probably a contract. But I will not be doing a live on Thursday or Friday because we have NFP. So enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you all on Monday night for our charting session. I'll see you all on Monday night. So enjoy the rest of your week. I will see you all then.